Okay, let's do it.
Hello. Can anyone around here speak basketball?
There it is.
It's the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast.
We going back to back. Welcome to the Confederacy of Dunks
Basketball Podcast.
This is an in-studio recording.
We're back.
That's right. I'm your host, Freddie Rivas. And who are you, sir?
I'm the producer, Matt Duncan.
Beautiful. That's a good name for basketball.
Matty D.
Matty D. Matt, if people want to help us grow this podcast into the Goliath it needs to be, how are they going to do that?
Well, you're going to start with our Patreon. We have a Patreon now if you want to support us. We've got different tiers, all named after players. We got Ibaka, we got Lowry, we got Siakam.
And Masai.
And we've got Masai. Now, that's if you're a big player. Okay, we haven't had anyone doing that one yet, but we're hoping that happens. And as well, we'd like to announce that, we are going to start having some Patreon-only content.
Squeeze me?
Yes, sir. We've got a new segment called Freddie on the Flive, which is me. I'm going to be doing a segment where I call into Freddie sometime in the week. I ask him 5 things basketball-related, maybe just world-related, too. He's got a lot of Jordan Peterson opinions. Maybe I'll pick his brain.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know me.
Dr. Peterson.
Nice burn on me to start the pod, eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, if you're not into Freddie's opinions, at least come for the artwork of the new segment because it's something to see.
Matt obviously invented this segment, but I'm going to give those answers my best.
Yeah.
I'll throw in some neo-Marxism, stuff like that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Just some gibberish. You'll end up in the gulag, that type of fear-mongering, anti-PC culture stuff. But Matt, if people are confused with our line of joking, but they do want to contribute to the Patreon, where are they going to find that?
Dunkspodcast.com. We've got all our links there. And it's also patreon.com/dunkspodcast if you want to type it in like the old days.
Heck yeah.
When you're looking for, chat groups in the 90s. But also dunkspodcast.com. We've got links for iTunes and Stitcher, your favorite podcatchers, YouTube, if you're down to that.
That's right. Player FM.
Player FM. We cannot forget Player FM. We are on Google Music, too. I don't know if you're a Google bot. Is that what you call Google people?
Yeah, Google bot.
Google bot.
Yeah.
It sounds like a white TV show. But, just go
awesome. So they can find us all over the website.
Rate. Give us a rating, guys.
With the Patreon. But what if people just simply want to stay warm this winter, Matt?
We got toques, bro. We got right beside me right now. I got a box of toques.
$20 for your head
$20.
top.
Nice and warm. You want hypothermia? No, you don't. So get one of these toques.
Yeah. Well, man. Okay, let's get cracking, right?
Yeah. Let's bring on some guests.
Okay, let's bring on the guest in studio first. He's awesome. He's we were just talking about all the different fantasy leagues we're in. He's hilarious. He's an amazing comedian. He's always got stuff going on. We'll make sure to plug it at the end of the pod.
Yeah.
But give it up at home as loud as you can, even though you're by yourself, for Antony Hall.
Yeah. Nice to be back in studio, baby. What it do, studio?
What it do, studio?
How you doing, man? Thanks for doing this.
I'm great. Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, it's always a pleasure to be on Dunks, and we're gonna chat Raptors.
I'm sure you'll find a moment to promote your love for Lonzo Ball.
Oh yeah, well,
at some point.
It's getting harder and harder to keep the bit going.
You know what? At some point you can just move on to LaMelo Ball.
Yeah,
right.
Man.
Yeah. 2020 first overall draft pick.
Whoa,
please, LaMelo
hey
Ball.
yo. Australia League, baby. Let's pop some shots down under. Okay, let's bring on guest number 2. If you're hearing any Darth Vader sounds,
yeah, it sounds like he's at a skating rink. Is he skating around?
He's skating at Nathan Phillips. That's how he does this pod. He skates hard and he skates fast. He's passionate about the Raps, more passionate than honestly most people I know. Okay, this guy waited overnight for the championship celebration.
You watched the news, you saw him talking.
You better believe it.
Right.
Give it up at home for Alex Wood.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I just got off the ice, so this is fantastic. I'm on the bench.
How you doing, man? Thanks
by the
for
way,
joining.
For that intro, I got to be honest. I did wait overnight for the parade so I could be at the front row, and I did get on the news. But then they stopped showing me because I kept screaming, "MLSC is doing a terrible job of organizing this."
Oh yeah,
and the reporter just kept going further down the line away from me in Pavone. It was great.
Well, that's pretty consistent because I was interviewed by the Globe after.
Oh yeah, you were.
And my quote kind of got condensed because I was ragging on the organization as well. It was very bad and very dangerous.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's behind us. This is all about our journey back to the finals.
Yeah.
Because that's how good this team is, and it's no longer a joke. Everyone's taking notice. You know, maybe not everyone, but
ESPN Power Rankings.
Yeah. Let's just call it up for what it is.
We're coming after you.
All things Power Rankings. But yeah, let's jump right into to the Raptors talk. Maddie, would you give me that Raptors sting?
I wanted you to hear it in studio because it's terrifying you on the phone.
It's also terrifying in studio. It sounds like you being like you're the guy that got kicked into the 300 hole, and you're still trying to like send off your Raptors thing. Like, you know what I mean? Or either that, or you're like Homer Simpson goes 3D. Like whatever happens there, you know what I mean, is a dimension that the person doesn't want.
Yeah, I get you.
But
300 hole.
You know what I'm talking about.
The pit.
Okay, let's jump right into Raptors talk. Alex, I think I'm going to start with you, and I'm just going to say this to all the listeners. This is a Raptors podcast, so if you're listening, congratulations. You're in a safe place where we don't need to. I mean, I'm sure we will, but we don't need to only talk about how we're viewed through, America's lens. We have our own lens. We're our own podcasts, and we can just come at you with our actual opinions about the Raptors. So, with all of that said, Alex, here's a genuine question. I'm not talking about the playoffs. I'm not talking about a month from now. I'm talking about right now, around 20 games into the season. Who is better? Which teams are better than the Toronto Raptors?
Bucks, Lakers, full stop. That's it.
Bucks, Lakers, that's it?
And even then, that's on shaky ground. We have the experience on the Bucks, and we beat them last year. But you got to say the Bucks and the Lakers.
Yes. Okay.
But I don't think anybody else. Really.
I wonder if we're all going to be in agreement here, because that is my exact take. So we're third in terms of record. We're third in terms of net rating. Our schedule has been much tougher than LA. We smacked LA at home. The Bucks beat us. We were definitely, we had all our players. They beat us at home. It was a bit of a revenge game. The Bucks have a better net rating. They've also had a harder schedule than the Raptors so far. So I think saying the Bucks are better than the Raptors is fair to me. And, when I think about a 7-game series, I still give LeBron that respect. So for me, maybe there's some fringe teams like the Clippers, or depending, if you're super high on the Mavericks or something. But for, maybe you think they're better than the Raptors. But for me, right now, it's the Lakers and the Bucks. I totally agree with you, Alex. Anthony, how you feeling about that? Are we too high? Are we too low?
No, I think that's pretty accurate. Just based just solely on record, like it is the Lakers and the Bucks that are better to us. I don't know. I have this feeling that the Clippers are really going to start picking up once everything starts clicking with PG and Kawhi on the
Right.
floor, and it already is, and they're looking a little scary. But are they better than the Lakers like at this current moment? No. And are they better than the Bucks? No.
The Clippers?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and so if we got thrown into a 7-game series right now with the Clippers, are you taking the Raptors?
I mean, yeah.
Are you betting against Kawhi?
I'm betting against Kawhi. Yeah.
I think I am too, and it sounds insane. And I'm not even basing that off of, kind of like shutting him down, because I think you play Kawhi in a series. I mean, the Raptors are incredible on defense, but I don't think we shut Kawhi down. I don't even think we really shut PG down. But I think we still could beat them.
We could.
Alex, I'm going to throw the same question at you. Okay, yeah. So we're in a series with the Lakers or the Bucks. I totally agree with you. We had that kind of that recency edge on the Bucks, but putting the Lakers and the Bucks aside, because I feel like we generally all agree on that. Is there any other teams you think, hey, if the Raptors are in a series with, let's say, the Rockets or the Clippers, would any of those teams beat us?
I don't think so. I really don't. We're so deep as well, and playoff deep. Like we are an 8-man rotation that could easily be a 9. And don't discount what that 9s can do in the playoffs. Like, those are hard minutes, and the games are just so on top of each other. A 9 instead of just 8 would be massive, even though we could comfortably go with 8 as well. Nobody. I mean, the Heat, I just don't think they've been there yet, as good as they look. And Jimmy, he torched us last year a bit in that series.
Yep.
But
he was great.
No one on that team really scares me outside of him. And the West is such a... We're only going to have to worry about one team. You know what I mean? We don't have to beat any of those teams in the series. We have to beat one Western team in a series, and I think we could do that. I wouldn't be psyched about playing the Nuggets in the finals.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Raptors, there's so much to be decided still. How much does Boucher develop from now till April? Is Siakam tired? Is Fred tired? Is OG even somehow better at defense? What about our vets? How are they holding up? So, obviously...
Is Fred on a heater right now, or is this who he is? Because if this is who he is, we have to be the title favorite out of the East. If he's on a heater, well, he goes hot and cold.
Sorry, Anthony, it seems like you wanted to say something.
I think this is Fred. Like, I honestly think, like, something awoke in him during the playoffs, and, like, especially during that Golden State series and at the end of the 76ers series, like, he is the real deal.
I mean, he's even, we talked about this before the pod, but he's even advertising for ASMR commercials now. Fred's doing it all. I wonder if he is practicing his ASMR by whispering against his opponents, like boxing one.
Oh,
you know what I mean? If like before he hits a 3, if someone's D'ing him up, he just goes boxing one, and they're like, "Pardon me," and he just jacks him. Okay, I'm gonna jump to you, Anthony, for this next question.
Sure.
And this is kind of to where Alex was going with our depth, with our 8, with our 9. We're a playoff team, so and we're contenders, and we're thinking about things, or I'm thinking about things in terms of back-to-back. I'm not one of these American analysts that's wondering if the Raptors can do it. I'm wondering how they can do it.
Right.
We're champions, and we're defending our title, so that's what's up. But Terrence Davis, I think, proved himself. Boucher proved himself.
Yeah.
Rondae proved himself. And with Ibaka back, obviously Boucher is benched. So, you have to think, when Lowry comes back, I mean, TD's probably going to get benched. And, maybe you'd say, well, TD is outperforming Norm or whatever. But as far as hierarchy, well, let's just assume that's the scenario for right now. And that Rondae is the guy that's kind of got that, I don't know, that 8th spot. I guess that's kind of my question to you is Rondae the guy? Between those 3 guys, did he win that battle because Norm's kind of the 7th man, right?
Yeah.
So is the 8th man Rondae?
Yes, I think so. I just think the way he has played this season thus far, and like the hustle he's shown, and defensively he's been more than what I ever expected, or more than I ever saw from previous iterations of Rondé. And he's like pretty good at like driving, and he's got like some decent layup moves too, which has been another surprising development in his game.
His passing. What about his passing?
Yeah, oh yeah, that too.
His flashy, like behind. Rondé is so much fun.
Yeah.
Like obviously the Raptors fan base is like totally into this guy. He's an entertainer. You know what I mean?
I just love his like tenacity to make plays, and to just like he just really gives it when he's out there, and that is definitely like on brand for like this generation of the Raptors, and I really love what he's brought to the rotation thus far, and like I think he does have that 8th spot.
And it's kind of cool to have, our whole squad is kind of like, searching for threes or cutting or that sort of thing. But then you just have this guy Rondé, who's like a full JYD out there. He's doing the Reggie Evans thing, and he's kind of he's just prowling for rebounds.
Yeah,
and he's just chasing the ball. Yeah, it's kind of like, it seems like a clear role. It seems like when Masai went out and got him, this is what he was thinking.
Yes.
And Leo kind of touched on, sometimes you bring a player in for a certain role. Like, let's say, I think Bismack's a good example. You bring him in for a certain role, but then they start doing that role, and you quickly realize they can do way more.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the case with RHJ. Okay, let me throw a similar, but kind of like further down the line question to you, Alex. So let's say, well, I guess if you disagree that Rondé's won the spot, let me know. But if he has won the spot, do you think he should win the spot, or is it more pertinent to develop, a guy like Boucher or Terrence, who we know is on contract for more than this year?
That's a fantastic question, because to be honest with you, Bush is really impressing me.
Yeah.
And I can't believe it. Like his hustle and his hops, I did not realize how jumpy he was, but I still think you have to give it to Jefferson. He's been fantastic. Absolutely terrific. He torched us last year. I expected this because I went to the game last year when Brooklyn was here, and I think he put up like 24, 8, and 7, and I had never heard of him. And I was like, who is this guy? When we got him, I was super psyched. This is fully expected. He is an absolute load.
Yeah.
5-tool player. I absolutely love him. It's a shame that there's no way we can keep him next year, especially because the better he plays, the more he's going to make next year. I just hope he doesn't stay in the Atlantic. Like, go to the West, buddy. I don't want to play you anymore.
Yeah, he's frustrating. He frustrates opponents. It's like, I think, if you shut down a team and this guy keeps getting rebounds, it's really annoying. And the Raptors are kind of like a bad offensive rebounding team and rebounding team in general, which is always a bit of a misleading stat, because part of the reason we're bad at rebounding is because we're so good at making people miss. Rebounding is one of those stats that you can cut it a bunch of different ways. But yeah, I agree with you guys. I think, I presented the question, kind of with my opinion, obviously, but yeah, I think Boucher is going to continue to get that opportunity, and he's a Gasol rest game away from playing more, or he's another tweaked ankle. So I think Boucher is in the mix, and I think he's also proven that he's really effective guarding wings, which is kind of a game changer. Like, watching him close out on threes is just nuts. Like, he covers so much ground, and he's so long. I don't know how you would hit a shot against that guy.
Yeah, he is really, really impressive. And to go back to TD for a second,
sure,
I was like pretty excited when we signed him in the summer league. Like, I think the first time I ever did the pod, I was like, I think like there's something in this like Terrence Davis guy. And I was just like, he looks good offensively, and he attacks the basket pretty aggressively, and he plays so confidently on defense. I was like, oh man, I think there's something there. And sure enough, like, he has been eating up those minutes that in the absence of Lowry, and just taking these like really confident contested threes. And I'm just like,
I know,
holy crap,
it's amazing.
Like, this guy's so good.
Yeah, and I think I you know, I don't want to speak for you too, but I feel like with Terrence, it definitely feels like, okay, you can watch for a little while, even though you have proven you are good. Mm-hmm. I would love to unleash him on the G League. You know, when Lowry comes back,
comfortable.
Oh yeah, just like listen, like send this guy to the G League. All of the offense is through you. You take 40 shots a game, and you play 40 minutes a game, and you are the team. So that when you come back to the NBA, you're just like that. You're like Fred, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Or Norm. We did that with Norm. Norm was in the G League for like a month, and then they like had to pull him out because they were like, stop, he's already dead.
Yeah.
Like he was just beasting. So it was kind of like, all right, you know. But okay, let's move on here. Kind of a similar question to my first. You know, kind of this is a Raptors confident podcast. Mm-hmm. And maybe in a month from now, maybe if we go on a losing streak, you know, we'll have to kind of reckon with it, but it just doesn't seem like it's headed that way. I'll start with you, Alex. Give me a list of players right now that you think are better than Pascal Siakam.
Okay, see, with this question, it's always one of those, okay, if I'm going to draft a team, we're doing a fantasy draft of the entire league, you know what I mean? I'm actually going to start a franchise in real life. I get one player.
Okay.
That's how I'm going to answer that question. And I'm going to go, like, these are without blinking,
but wait,
not in order.
Let me just say this, Alex. Factor it in just for this season, because I feel like when age comes into the mix, you know,
okay,
a player that's older than
Pascal. That is huge difference.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I just mean raw, like all NBA
right now,
style.
You have to say.
Sorry.
It's all my fault. Giannis, one, that's you can't argue. You can't not argue that.
Definitely better. Yep.
We can't get on our Raptors Kool-Aid of I'm telling you, man, Terrence Ross could be first team All-Pro this year.
Yeah.
Two. Yeah, LeBron. I mean, are we really going to pretend that's not true?
It's true.
Anthony
LeBron's
Davis.
better.
Are we going to pretend that's not true?
Yep.
And here's what's cool. I'm not saying I'm putting him in that fourth, but that's when you really start slowing down how quickly and confidently you can say these players. Because you know what? The back end matters, and Harden is a bit of a confirmed playoff dip out. Like he's not the same guy. But yeah, okay, I'll put Harden at 4.
Okay, me too.
Instead. And that's tough. That's even tough to say, and that's crazy. And you can't judge Pascal on his upward trajectory either. If we're talking right now,
that's
also,
right. That's right.
Like
yeah,
he's still getting better every game. It's what we're talking right now.
Exactly.
Then, yeah, I'm going to say, even though he's not having the best season, Jokic is absolutely nuts. It's nuts what he's doing.
Okay,
so
that's
I put Pascal in that 6th spot.
So he's your okay. But I guess before I jump in here, give me your list, Anthony, and let's not focus on where you disagree with Alex. Just give me your list of kind of the same logic applied this season. Currently better, you know, we're not thinking the end of the season. We're not thinking just kind of like right now. Is. Yeah.
Giannis, LeBron, Anthony Davis. It definitely does slow down after that.
It's fun, right?
Luka.
Luka, okay.
Yeah. And then Pascal.
How amazing is this conversation? Yeah. This is kind of why I wanted to have it. So I might be we're all a little bit different, but we're all kind of the same. So for me, it's Giannis, LeBron, AD, James Harden. So those are my 4 guys that I'm like, yes, I think they're better. And then I really start to think about, okay, wait a second. How much better, if better at all? And when I think about Luka and I think about Jokic, I also think about defense. And Pascal is an elite defender. So that to me just brings him you know, because they're both better on offense.
Yes.
Like I think, you know, some might say quite a bit better. But not as as much as James Harden. And the other guy for me, who I think at this point, watching him this season so far, I still think is better than Pascal.
Don't say Andrew Wiggins.
No,
Don't do it.
Okay, Andrew Wiggins. No. Oh my god. I think someone would just like come in and turn this podcast off. Like there's a big button, and they just shut it off permanently. Like they just have like God's finger would go through my house and just shut it off. No, is Kawhi Leonard. Okay, is my other guy. So I think we all have. You had Luka.
Yeah.
Alex had Jokic, and I have Kawhi. And Kawhi versus Pascal is even pretty debatable, I think. When you think about Pascal not resting.
Right.
Pascal, I think, playing better defense right now than Kawhi. It's just insane that we have a player that's this good. Can you imagine if this team really... Sorry, I'm just like thinking out loud, but I'm actually going to throw this as like a rhetorical question to you, Alex. But can you imagine tanking with a player as good as Pascal Siakam just entering his prime, Alex?
A team tanking?
No, could you imagine this Raptors team deciding to tank or not be competitive with a player based on this conversation we just had?
No, with the next 4 years, we're never sellers at the deadline. We're never off-season holding on to this idea of, maybe we're going to change everything. Like there's no Kawhi deal coming up.
Right.
There's no crazy shift. Our team is centered around Pascal Siakam. We all off-season, everyone was saying like, man, it sucks though that we had a player that good, like that dominant, and on our team, and he's gone. And it's like, oh no, your 43's ready. Actually,
yeah. It's
because
insane.
He's a magnet. When he drives, the way that you watch the way defenses react when he has the ball, and it is the same way defenses react when Steph's coming off the screen, when Giannis is driving. Like he has that magnet of like him just being on the floor makes everybody so much better just by proxy to him.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just gonna, we haven't talked about the Utah game last night, so I'm just gonna jump right in there. Like his, I forget what to say. I think his stat line was like 35, 5 and 5. So I might have the rebounds and the assists wrong there, but I texted Roger Bainbridge of the podcast, and I was like, Siakam's going for a career high. And then I actually, when me and Alex were talking last night on Facebook, I was like, Pascal's going for a career high, and Alex had the funniest response because he was like, I was there for his career high, which I kind of interpreted as like, trust me, like he's hot, but it's not tonight. And Alex is right, because it was such a blowout that the game wasn't competitive enough for Pascal to play long enough to get one of those games. But he just, I don't know what the deal is with Utah, but he just, kind of jogs into a post up, keeps his eye on Gobert, and then just puts everyone else in the torture chamber, like the Kevin McHale torture chamber, where it's like there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, and that
certain players cannot guard him. Sorry,
like the way he finishes, like that, like just like that step through, where he just goes like step and then lays it up. Like nobody can defend that. And last night we really saw that. Yeah,
like unless you have a Jonathan Isaac or kind of a special type of guy, you're just in trouble. I actually thought that Utah was gonna maybe aggressively double him, and it was pretty similar to the way the Pelicans guarded him, which was not at all. You know what I mean? And it was strange because Utah is such a smart, savvy, good defense.
Yes.
That I didn't expect us to roast them like that. Like
no, I did not at all.
It's like they didn't. It's like they're the ESPN NBA power rankings. Like they don't watch us. You know what I'm saying? Like it was weird to see, because I was kind of like, Snyder is a brilliant coach. And other coaches have given us they've tactically planned for Pascal pretty well. I feel like. Anyways, yeah, it's all gravy with Pascal, and I think before we move on, Anthony, I'll hit you both up. Do you have anything else to say about Pascal Siakam? For now,
I just think he's fantastic. And even in the late stages of that Utah game when they were trying to like mount their comeback, I'm gonna air quotes comeback.
A 50-point third quarter that didn't matter. That was weird.
They like were starting to double Siakam, and then he would just like kick it out, and then we got Norm just like hucking up threes.
Yeah, Norm's Danny Green now.
Yeah, I was like, what's happening? And even Fred, I'm looking at the stat line right now. He shot 5 for 7 from 3, and like that's pretty crazy. Like the whole team is just balling out. Like they're making threes like crazy. Even Ibaka coming off an injury last night was just hucking them up, and they were going in. And I was like, what the hell is going on?
I loved how Ibaka was like,
I'm gonna eat.
Yeah.
Sorry, what'd you say, Alex?
Said big dog gonna eat.
Yeah.
That's Serge, buddy. He's reinvigorated. He's a whole back to his OKC self officially now. Like,
yeah, and he understands who he is on this team too. Like, I feel like some of those shots, he's like looking back at Boucher, and he was like, "You couldn't cut it."
Yeah,
and everyone's like, "No, you did good, Boucher."
Yeah,
but Serge is just like there was one play where, I don't even think he dunked it. I think he got an N1 or something, and his battle cry was so intense.
Yeah,
I'm like, you must.
Yeah.
How are you not scared of that guy? Like, if I was on the court with Serge, I'd be like, sub me out, coach.
Yeah. No, thank you.
I'm not playing with this guy.
No, thank you.
He's a nut.
He's out there speaking 3 different languages depending on who he's talking to, and you're like, that's adding to the fear factor. I don't want to be around this multilingual murderer.
I know. He's like, I speak Spanish, French, English, and guess what? I'm gonna headbutt the back of the rim after I score. Are you? Who's it? Was it Marquise Chris? Who was the guy? Who's the guy in Cleveland where he's like tried to choke from behind?
Oh yeah, that was Marquise Chris, I think.
That was maybe the scariest I've seen Serge.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
Honestly, keep it light, okay, Serge? No more of that.
How hungry are you?
He also didn't connect with anything. It was like, whoa, God, what would have happened if he did?
Oh yeah. He like took a huge like haymaker and he just missed. But if he didn't miss, that's lights out.
Okay, let's talk some NBA. Maddie, if you're ready, would you give me? I don't even know if it's a sting anymore. It's probably a weird sound collage. But Maddie, would you give me that NBA sting?
Can somebody get Nurse a fisherman's friend, please?
Right? It leaves you with the feeling of why.
For the win!
Wow.
Remember that?
I do remember that. See, that's wonderful. Someone in an alley coughing? I don't know. A little less appealing, I think.
I know. I feel like I cough a lot on this podcast too. So they're just like, geez, what is wrong with him? He's sick.
Even though that's the second time you've done that sound cue, I thought it was somebody coughing.
Yeah.
I was right about to be like, oh, Alex is back out on the ice again. But no, it's a cough you've built into the sound effect.
You're damn right I did.
Cheers. Okay, Anthony, let's start with you here. Just go whatever direction you want here. What team is shocking you the most, good or bad? Just what team are you looking at on a regular basis being like, what?
Phoenix, baby.
Phoenix still, because they started to lose a bit, right?
They're starting to lose now. I think they're coming back down to earth, but like
I think they're still in a playoff spot. They're in 8th. 8 and 10.
Just on the cusp.
But their net rating is 1.8. So, not good, but it's like they're winning.
Yeah. Which I didn't think they were going to at all. I was like, what are you doing in the offseason? Like, they traded away a bunch of players, let a bunch of guys go, and then, like, they brought in, what, Aaron Baines? And I was
brought in Baines, Rubio, and was it Saric?
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. I don't remember when Saric came. But yeah, like the team didn't look great going into the season, and I think they really started to put it together after Ayton got suspended. Like Aaron Baines like took up a bunch of those minutes, and like I didn't realize he could kind of shoot. That was impressive.
Aaron Baines does deserve some love. He's been a revelation. He was a Boston Celtics fans who I just always discount as being insane. We're always talking about how vital a role he is. And I think we are seeing in Phoenix that like this guy can play.
Yeah.
Not every guy is going to rack up stats, even though I think Aaron Baines has a pretty solid kind of numbers this year, but he just does the right thing. He's rough and tumble. He, sets really meaningful big screens. But yeah, I'm just looking at the roster right now that, they got a bunch of like kind of competitors. Tyler Johnson. I think Devin Booker is actually good. He's not an empty numbers guy.
Yeah.
Kelly Oubre Jr. I think is for real. They just, they're kind of like the way people talked about the Knicks in the offseason, like, hey, maybe they're not going to be that bad. Just to cover myself, I always assume the Knicks are going to be one of the worst teams in the world. Like in any sport.
You're usually right.
Yeah, that's just until they're not, my assumption is that the Knicks are an outright embarrassment. But Phoenix is kind of like who the Knicks, sold themselves out. Oh, we got Randall and, we got Morris and Taj Gibson. We're this, we don't have a lot of good players, but we're scrappy. But that's Phoenix.
Yeah.
That's not the Knicks.
And like, I was watching this video about their offense, and like apparently there's like some system that their coaches put in place where it's like in the first couple of seconds of you getting the ball, you have to decide to either pass, shoot, or drive. And like that has really made a difference in the way that they move the ball on offense, and it's like really making a lot of open shots happen, and that's
right.
Been really impressive to watch. And Rubio has facilitated super
Rubio's looking fantastic, man. Okay, Alex, I'll throw to you. Who's your biggest surprise, good or bad?
I'm going to go outside the lines a little bit, and I'm sorry. It's not even just it's not the team as much as it is one guy, the Dallas Mavericks. What are we watching right now? It feels like there's we're in a horror movie, And remember at the beginning when like 4 people have been like slain, but everyone else at the party's like, nothing's wrong, right?
Yeah.
No one's noticed those 4 people missing. What is Luka doing? He's 20. He's 20. It's terrifying. I have to say, Dallas, what's happening? And no one's even talking. We're all talking about it, but it's like it's normal. It's not normal. This is on some Magic LeBron level stuff. And I think the league is just so filled with so many great players and teams right now that it's just hard to accept that, oh my God, this time from next year it might be a 21-year-old that's better than everybody. And this team might be better than everybody. And they might be unstoppable. Right? I
mean, as someone who doubted Luka early on, I'm trying to say on a regular basis that I'm not a doubter anymore. I had what I thought was a fairly nuanced argument, but I was straight up very, very wrong. So during his rookie season, I didn't think he was an all-star in the West. I still don't think he was an all-star in the West in his rookie season. But part of my argument was that the league would kind of adapt a little bit, and his defense was, not good enough, and his 3-point shooting percentage wasn't special enough, and I just kind of assumed he wasn't on his way to being an MVP at any point. I thought maybe way later in his career, but he is legitimately in the conversation for MVP in his second year. Maybe the dust will settle a little bit, but let me just read off these stats, okay? He is 30, and adjust for inflation, right? 5-6 years ago, everyone's stats are up, but still. So he's 30.6 points a game, 9.9 rebounds a game, 9.6 assists a game, 48% from the field, which is pretty good. 33% from the 3-point line, which is, a little bit below league average, but it's like Harden, is shooting 31%, right? So just by comparison there. 82% from the free throw line. I believe he has the highest PER in the NBA. This guy's out of control. And Alex, I mean, yeah, that's a very, very good answer. This guy, I mean, that should be my answer, but since it's a podcast and I want 3 different takes, I'm gonna go in a different direction. But I mean, if you're not surprised by Luka, I guess you were on that train right away. I don't know. Everyone should be surprised by a guy that's like threatening to be the MVP in his second year, right? It's so magic good. LeBron shit, like what Alex said.
Last night, he literally just like lightly dribbled past the entire LA Lakers defense and like KCP, and he just like threw it down.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my God, like this guy's amazing.
I've never seen somebody protect. He doesn't move that fast, but he protects the ball while driving like I've never seen before. You know what I mean? It's like he shields the ball with his body while in motion, and I'm like, well, I thought you could only do that when you post up. It looks like you're running backwards at times. It's crazy. Yeah,
we're in this era where a lot of big guys are dribbling and handling the ball, and it's kind of just like opening up different stuff. Like we're seeing it with Pascal. Obviously, Towns is doing it a bunch more this year. Guys like Simmons and obviously LeBron, but there's just so many big guys handling the ball on a regular basis. Like, it makes me look at other guys who are starting to get those handles, like Jonathan Isaac, and I'm like, wow, what could you be when you develop like a pick and roll? My team, and it's a little bit centered around a player as well, but the team that surprised me the most, just because, it doesn't seem like they suck, but I gotta say it's the Miami Heat. Because for me, I was flirting for this answer with the T-Wolves, but the T-Wolves are they've regressed just enough to be like, okay, they are better. Wiggins has improved. Towns is amazing, but they're still, like a fringe playoff team.
Right.
The Heat to me seem like they've supplanted the Celtics and the Sixers as a home court team in the East. And who knows, maybe that will regress a little bit, but it seems like, Butler has finally got his team. Yeah. He's finally got his like full control. And Spo is always an underrated coach, but yeah, I remember listening to I think it was Zach Lowe who said, the Heat are going to be third in the East. And I rarely doubt Zach Lowe, who knows so much more than me, obviously, but I did. I was like, what? What do you mean Bam Adebayo? Kelly Olynyk, Deion Waiters? I don't think so. And it's not even those guys necessarily. There's a lot of good players. Hero's a good rookie. That guy Robinson.
Yeah, Duncan Robinson
awesome.
is sick.
They're a lot like the Raptors, where it's like you look at the roster and you're like, I don't know these guys.
And Nunn,
but they're good.
That guy's pretty good too.
Who?
Nunn.
Oh yeah, it's like Nunn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly haven't watched a bunch of him, but yeah, that kind of goes to my point of like not knowing guys. And okay, let's move on here to Anthony. I'll start with you. Correct me if I'm wrong, by the way, but no coach has been fired so far. Is that an NBA record? But usually there's a early firing, right?
Yeah.
Is Pop on the chopping block?
Well, I don't know. Is he?
Oh my God.
But Anthony, I'll start with you. Who is anyone on the chopping block? Or if so, who?
Oh, Fizdale, maybe.
Yes, that's actually a fantastic answer
because they're
because
really
of the Knicks,
bad. Yeah, they're obviously New York needs somebody to blame, and the first person that they're going to go to is the coach. So probably Fitz. I
think that's I'm looking up and down the standings, and the Knicks have, it's only going to get worse from here.
Yeah.
And he's playing guys like, Marcus Morris over young guys.
Yeah. And
need development. So I could totally see them being like, all right, we're going to use you as an example.
What did you guys think of Cantor coming out and saying that, James Dolan, he's not the problem. He's not the reason. Did you hear that quote that
I didn't see that,
Yeah.
but that's the funniest thing because
he's, like, he's not the one to blame, is what
he for sure is.
Yeah.
So I like Enes Kanter, but dude,
so all over the place. That guy.
Dolan is a nightmare. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Alex, do you have a guy? Is it Fizdale? Is there anyone you're thinking like is kind of maybe on the chopping block?
Well, I kind of really expected Scott Brooks to be fired by now. And I thought the Wizards would be way worse than they are. But I still think it'll be Brooks because I think they're going to – they're clearly just fighting a full teardown. And
yeah,
I think they're going to wake up to the Moneyball trust the process idea of, okay, well, we can't just be a mediocre team, a mediocre bad team. And I think they're going to realize it's time to get rid of Beal because it's not like he's as good as a Pascal Siakam. And you could just build a whole team around him for like years and years and years to come. He's
awesome.
He's not a Siakam guy. And I think they're realizing that. And they're going to send him out because you can still get a big return for him and blow it up. And if you're going to blow it up, send your loser coach packing too.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. I had a couple options here, but I'm going to settle on Terry Stotts of the Portland Trail Blazers. Just a fantastic coach who's been there for a long time. And I think the Blazers kind of gutted their supporting cast. So they just look bad. Like they're 8-12, maybe they improve throughout the season. But I think they got McCollum, Lillard, and I think they probably don't want to break up that core.
Carmelo,
sorry, Melo, yeah. And there's just not a lot of like if Portland is if it's looking like they're going to miss the playoffs, I think that fan base is not going to have it, and the owners never going to fire themselves. They can't trade Lillard. They probably won't trade McCollum. And Terry Stotts seems like a pretty good fall guy there. Okay, let's do our last NBA question here. Alex, I'm going to start with you again. And this is kind of links a little bit to what you're saying with the Wizards, like middling and that sort of thing. And looking at the Eastern Conference standings, the drop off after the Pacers. The Nets are 500, but when I formed this question, the Nets were still 9-10. But let's stick there because 500 is not good. So the drop off after the Pacers is pretty big. Who do you think? Which of these teams, and I'll list them off for you, do not suck? So we got the Brooklyn Nets, the Orlando Magic, the Charlotte Hornets, the Detroit Pistons, Washington Wizards, Chicago Bulls, Cleveland Cavaliers, Atlanta Hawks, New York Knicks. So I just listed 9 teams. So which of those 9 teams I listed do not suck in your opinion?
The Pistons. I think DC is I love him, and I think he gets the most out of his guys. I think in that respect he's a good coach, but the game is slapping him right now. And I think the Lakers are showing with the way they're playing. You don't just need threes. It doesn't need to be like what we're doing. The Lakers are making it work.
Yep.
With twos and pick and rolls. I think with Drummond and Blake is still there, they should be doing better, and I think it's on DC. I think he's probably – I'm not watching a ton of Pistons, but I'm following them a bit because I'm curious because I think Blake – he's making moving threes off of screens now. That's cool, to watch that guy develop like that, and I think he's holding them back. And I think they're not – I don't think they suck. I think they are a good team, and you talked about us having a rebound weakness earlier, and you don't see it as a weakness. I do. And I think we would be a bad matchup with Detroit, and they did play us tough last year. I don't think they suck. I think DC sucks. And, everyone else kind of sucks. On the Magic, I wasn't as up on as everybody else. I don't think they suck, but I don't think they don't suck.
That is basically what this question is because – none of these, no one wants to vouch too hard for any of these teams, obviously. Yeah, I think that's a pretty interesting answer with the Pistons because for me, I guess I disagree a little bit with the roster. I think Blake and Drummond was never really a good fit. I think they both take up too much space. And Blake's three-point shooting and playmaking is good, but it's not like Pascal good. It's not like friendly to, and it's also Drummond too. I think his lack of development. But again, this is a scenario where, even though I'm a guy who does like Casey, this is his second year coaching the Pistons, and whatever, there's a lot of bad players on that team, but it's like, hey, the East sucks. You're 7-13. You shouldn't be 7-13. You should be a lot closer to 500 if you have Blake Griffin on your roster in the East. You just should be. My team that doesn't suck is the Orlando Magic, which is weird. It's also a weird conversation because I think as a Raptors fan, it's like, oh, what do you mean? The team that we beat the crap out of every day? What do you mean that team doesn't suck? But, I think we're really good. And I think they've played us 3 times. And obviously they've lost those games. But if they'd never played the Raptors, they'd be 8-10. And, Markelle Fultz, I think, is going to get better, every week.
Yeah.
And I think Gordon has some stuff. I think they have a lot of room to grow, and I think they will grow. And I think they're good on D. So I don't think they suck. Everyone else, I kind of think they do suck. Anthony, who doesn't suck? I can list them off again for you if you want.
I've got them in front of me here. Okay. Who doesn't suck? Well, I think
that's why people are like, the Raptors should tank. It's like, please just look at the Eastern Conference standings once. There are 9 teams that are terrible.
Oh, that's real. This is a tough question. I think Brooklyn doesn't suck. It's just the problem is Kyrie Irving.
Right. They have good players. I mean, Taurean Prince, Allen, LeVert, Dinwiddie, Harris. They have guys.
Yeah, Beef Jerky Joe played really well last night. And
wait, sorry. Can you explain that nickname to me? Because when I was watching the game, they're like, Beef Jerky. And I was like, whoa.
I also don't know the genesis of the nickname.
Fair enough. But it seems like everyone knows. Okay,
everybody knows that Beef Jerky Joe is the nickname. I just don't know where it comes from.
I know.
Joe.
Yeah, they there's like last night I think I saw peak NBA 2019-2020 season Ewing effect when the Nets were playing the Heat and they just looked so much better without Kyrie on the floor, and it was mind-boggling to me. I was like, Kyrie should be making this team so much better, but when he wasn't playing, it was just everything was moving a lot more fluidly. Beef Jerky Joe was playing really aggressively. He was driving for these really hard contested layups. He was taking good shots. Dinwiddie played really well as also, and I don't think they suck. I just think that the media circus around Kyrie really is distracting them from being the best they can be. And also I kind of like Charlotte. In a way, I'm wearing my Japanese Charlotte Hornets t-shirt.
I know,
right
I saw
now.
that. It's cool.
I really like PJ Washington.
PJ Washington I feel like he's gonna break the single game 3-point record this year.
Yeah,
his first game he hit 7 threes.
He's amazing.
It's a different NBA, man.
Yeah, watching him in college in the NCAA tournament last year was pretty impressive. He was out for one game and they were really. Kentucky was really bad, and then when he came back, it was just a whole different team. And then Devonta Graham has been pretty surprising there as well. He's making Terry Rozier look like such a horrible signing. And I think we can pull it together. They're 9th right now, and we know that a lot of the teams in the East suck. So they could easily jump up to 7th.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair.
I was going to say,
are you researching that nickname? That's what Matt's doing.
Yeah. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm just looking at the Atlanta Hawks record in November, and I'm like, what? I thought this team started at 500 for they're almost at 10 games.
It's the Hawks.
Yeah. They're on a 10-game losing streak right now. They won 2 out of 15 in November. Wow. So it's not the Hawks. So I'll just
Yeah.
Yeah.
The East. See, this is like for anyone who's been listening to this podcast for a long time, I'm always kind of angling to this point of kind of like, well, maybe, the conferences will even out and maybe the East isn't that bad. This is the year I've been very quiet on that because every time I look at the Raptors, schedule coming up, I'm like, oh my God. It's like we're like a top level premiership team and we're going through that like early kind of part where you play a lot of like just subpar like teams that are just not on your level. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's move on to some quickish questions. You guys up for that?
Hell yeah.
All right, Maddie, give me that quickish questions sting.
Quickish Questions.
I don't know what Matt keeps laughing about, and I guess you'll also never know, listener.
I'm like that guy in The Big Lebowski who's just like looking at a magazine and laughing hysterically, and
Yeah.
and he's like, "What the fuck?"
Wait, are you actually that guy? Or are you going to tell
that's
us?
me. No, I don't. I just was laughing at this thing.
Oh, I see. Okay, Matt. All right. So, Anthony,
Yes.
Alex, you know how this works.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stutter. I'm going to slur. I'm going to get sloppy through some questions.
Yes.
You got to answer as quick as you can.
Yep.
And no phone a friend, no stalling.
Mm-hmm.
And let's do this. Alex, I'm going to start with you. This is coming from Tom. Which NBA player or coach is most likely to secretly be a serial killer?
Vogel, he looks like it. He just feels like it. Yeah. And a long career in basketball where no one saw it coming, too. Perfect alibi,
Yeah.
Vogel all the way.
You've been waiting for this question your whole life.
So ready.
Oh my God.
That's a serial killer name. Are you kidding me? Vogel?
Yeah.
That was like a serial killer. First or last name.
That's an award-winning answer. Okay. Anthony, it's coming from Yao. This is a question for everyone, so we'll answer quickly. Who is your MVP at this point in the season, Anthony?
Luka.
Okay. Matt, who's your MVP at this point in the season?
At this point in the season, I'm going to say Siakam.
Oh, baby. Okay, Alex, who's your MVP at this point in the season?
Giannis. They're going to win 65 games and they'd win 30 without him.
Fair enough. Okay, so back to Anthony. Which feat is more overlooked? Russ's triple doubles or Harden's scoring?
God, they're not overlooked.
You're like neither?
Yeah. Triple doubles, I guess. It's hard to get a triple double.
Yeah.
It's not hard to do a step back three over and over again until you die.
I mean, that does sound pretty hard. Like, especially like till you die. Okay. Matt, coming from Yao. Is Harden a better scorer than Jordan, or is he a much better scorer?
Whoa. I'll just say, if those are my two options, I'll just say better. I'm not going to say the much.
Oh,
no much here.
Matt's being political. Cheers. Okay. Alex, this is coming from Andre. RHJ has shown some nice finishing around the rim with some great layups and traffic in particular. What else on this team do you think, who else on this team do you think has some hidden skills, and what are those skills?
I think that OG can be our last shot of the game guy. When he's making these threes, they are always swing threes. Like, he's getting wide open looks because he's not getting that respect as like a three, but I think he could be like our big shot Bob, like our draw that last play to OG, because he seems to have a real knack for making the big threes at big times.
That was amazing, because when you said big threes at a big time, Matt restarted this music and he gave me like a really cool wink. Also, when we first asked the question and there was the silence, I thought you were just going to answer Frank Vogel.
He's in my house.
Okay, Anthony, this is coming from Timber.
Yes.
How often do besties, Pascal and Fred, have sleepovers at each other's houses?
I think. Well, you said in the thread, got to be after every win, right? And I agree with that because Fred has kids now, and
Ooh, that's right.
Pascal, he's probably living that penthouse life. So
He is, yeah.
they're going out to the club. You know that Freddie is sleeping at Pascal's that night.
Okay. I like how you actually tied that all together. Matt,
Yes.
who would you most like to see next on How Hungry Are You avec Le Serge? La Serge.
Whoa. Who I'd like to see next? Has Westbrook been on it? I like that he's going through his old OKC
Ooh.
teammates.
Yeah,
like we had
Westbrook would be
Durant
good.
on it.
Just serve him like a cooked up meniscus? You gonna eat this?
But I feel like with Durant, you kind of saw another side to him, which was kind of nice.
Oh.
So I want to see that with Westbrook.
And there it goes. Matt did it again. Okay, Alex. I can elaborate a bit on this too, but think about it as like an unchanged version. So this question is as if nothing else changed. So Timber's asking if we had kept DeMar and Casey, which would mean just like the team as is after we lost to Cleveland, would Pascal still be getting Boucher minutes? So would Pascal be benched if it was the exact same team that played against Cleveland?
No, Pascal is undeniable, obviously. It's just he was denied for a long time. He's clearly the hardest worker maybe in the league. And I don't think you can hide what he was doing. And I think he's an infectious attitude. Everyone loves him. I think he'd still be rising to prominence.
Fair.
Minutes-wise, everything.
Okay, Anthony. It's coming from Tom. What game ops would you like to see during breaks in play?
Like that's like
all the entertainment, like
Yeah,
t-shirts. You're like, what's something that's not happening at Scotiabank Arena that you want to see happen?
I don't know, poutine eating contests, a little bit of red panda.
Red Panda, just like full game.
Yeah.
Poor Red Panda. You're like, more Red Panda. I don't care if she's tired.
More red panda. Maybe some more mixes from DJ Four Corners.
Fair enough, but the first answer was the best. Poutine eating contest would get super nasty.
Yes.
I like it. Okay, Matt,
Yeah.
we got 3 more questions here.
Whoa!
That's right. This one's coming from Andre. Which team has garnered the most irrational power ranking love this season? So who's the NBA loving that they really shouldn't?
Overrated team. I'm gonna say Philly, baby.
Okay, that's a good answer. Alex, this is coming from Jonathan. Will Andre, who's asked a couple questions so far, top this week's Quickish Questions power rankings?
Whoa.
Yeah, I think he had an outside the box question for me last round. That was pretty good. I always like what if scenarios. Mm-hmm. I think yes, he will and should finish number 1 in this week's Quickish Question power ranking.
Wow.
Well, guess what? There's only one in the ranking, and it's Andre. You're right.
There you go.
Sorry, everybody else. Okay, last question for you, Anthony, is coming from Catherine.
Yes.
Is ESPN trolling us, as in Raptors fans, trolling us to up their online fan engagement?
Yes.
Correct answer. We are the other.
Yeah. ESPN doesn't care about Canada, and they want that Canadian viewership now that people are hot on the Raptors' tail, and they want to try to stop the Atlantic from growing anymore.
I like that.
And also the Ringer. Shout out the Ringer.
Yeah.
Shout out the Ringer.
Shout out all those people, but shout us out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out the Raptors.
Okay, folks, that's the pod. The Raptors are 14-4. Everything is wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah, subscribe, check us out,
Yeah.
help us out.
Patreon. Jump on
basketball.
Patreon. Get
Yeah,
ready
man.
for that Freddie on the Fly segment.
Oh, baby, it's going to be hot.
Keep an eye out for Making a Murderer featuring Frank Vogel.
Yeah. Keep an eye out for Frank Vogel because you see him? Guess what? That's it for you. Anthony, you got so much going on. I don't know where you want to go. You want to go Ming's Dynasty or
Yeah,
what's
sure. You can watch my show on CBC Gem, Ming's Dynasty. It's about 2 Toronto rappers that have to go back to small town Alberta to run a Chinese restaurant. And my writing partner and performance partner, White Wine, a.k.a. Calvin Shergold, and I are going to be throwing a Christmas show at Comedy Bar. More details
cool.
coming soon.
Do you have a date?
We do, but I don't remember it.
And when he's doing the more details, he's like pretending like he's typing. It's pretty cool. Alex, you're doing shows all the damn time. Is there any shows coming up or, people listening to this pod can come check you out?
Everyone should come to one of the Canned Laughter shows Monday, December 9th. It's across the entire city. It's like Yuck Yuck's Absolute Comedy Bar, the Rivoli, SoCap, all of them. Any place that does comedy, all 10 of them. They're across the city.
Awesome.
To get in, it's only a canned good food donation or $5. Obviously, you're heartless if you only bring one canned good, but that would technically get you in.
Yeah.
So we're looking for food donations for the Daily Bread Food Bank, and also at Comedy Bar, and it's there right now all the way until the end of the shows on December 9th. There's a signed OG Anunoby postcard,
Whoa.
a brand new Mitchell & Ness Raptors hat, and a bunch of Raptors swag.
Whoa.
$2 a ticket or 5 tickets for $5. Go ask the bar, say you want to get the tickets, and yeah, it's going to be a great event. Come on out.
You hear that? Support. Bring some cans, plural.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't be weirdo. It brings one can.
No dented cans either.
Dented cans. Thanks for listening to the pod. Go check these funny dudes out.
Yeah.
And
click on their name and you can subscribe on their Twitters.
goddamn right. God damn it right. Okay. See you, everybody.
Can anyone around here speak basketball?
There it is.
It's the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast.